Okay, I've got this in, so now I'm gonna hold down Shift and drag over. I'm trying really hard to not hit the edge, this edge, and I'm trying really hard to not hit like this edge. That would do some, pull it up a little weird. It doesn't really mess up things. I'm just trying to get the topology to be a bit nicer. It's kind of janky in some places, kind of horky-borky in some places. Not like even between the tightness and the whatever the opposite of tightness is. How spread out it is, I guess. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you see it's not only is it making the topology cleaner, but it's also like trying to hug the original like shapes much nicer. So it looks pretty, it looks nice and clean, but it's also hitting all of the points of the ZBrush mesh that we made. It's pretty important. And this is like mixing pancake batter. I don't know if you've ever mixed pancake batter, but if you do it too much, your pancakes taste like shit. If you smooth this too much, it's gonna look like shit. So you just kind of gotta be discerning and like look at what's going on. I don't love that. And just make sure that you're not doing anything like problematic here. Maybe pull that one up a little. In fact, I think I even need some more. Oh man, it's just being stubborn with that one bump. There we go. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now cool. Okay. Oh no, I keep saying okay, but then I keep seeing little things like this. And so, okay, again, holding down Shift to relax, and then just like clicking or dragging a little bit. So now, Q. So quit using the tool. Object mode. Delete the history, do the Holy Trinity, duplicate. I'm going to put that old one into the masters group. Throw those in there too. So we got this. Just not happy with the front. Okay. So in object mode, this is still live. Maybe actually I want to make it unlive. That doesn't really matter anymore. Let's go ahead and hide it and throw it. Oh no, it needs to stay out here, actually. Okay. So the first thing that I'm noticing is that I have a problem right here. It's like hella up. So when I was smoothing it, it must have clipped up to the top instead of the bottom. So we're just gonna pull it down. That does happen sometimes. I don't necessarily love the divots on the inside anyway. Okay, edge, and I'm gonna double click on this inside edge here. Come on, work for me. There we go. And it clicked all the way around. Beautiful. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it'll click like a third of it, or if you're unlucky, one section, and you just keep selecting, obviously. So I'm going to go into top. I suppose the other thing that you could do is like marquee select. I don't know. Only do that in a pinch. Try this first. If this works, do this. It's a happy day if that works. Okay, now here's an interesting thing. We're not at world origin. So we're not at 0, 0. And they need to be at 0, 0. I'm going to put them in a group. I'm going to center the pivot on this thing, and then I'm going to hold down X, and I'm going to get close to the center. Maybe go to wireframe. I guess I'm going to go right to the center. That was not intentional, but that's cool. Okay. So now we're in the center, right? Let's go ahead and take them out of the group. And let's redo everything. Hide you. And now the pivot's not in the middle, but the piece is exactly where we want it to be, right? Because when this one is unhidden, the pivot's right in the middle. But this one, the pivot's not, so we need to fix that. So we're going to hit D, hold down D, rather, hold down X. So we're aligning the pivot point, and we're aligning it. When you hold down X, it snaps to the grid. And now we want it to be right here in the middle. Cool. Okay, back to edge mode. So I'm scaling it left and right, but I'm going left so that it's perfectly flat. I'm going like all the way, maybe even twice. I want it to be perfectly flat. And then I'm going to move it, wiggle a bit, and then hold down X. Hold down, please. There we go. Thank you. Hold down X, and it'll snap it right to the thing. Don't get this pivot obviously confused with the object mode pivot, which is on center. Like it would be kind of easy to see this and be like, oh dang, my pivot's not on center again, and like remove it, and it'll still work, but then it's just unnecessary. So here we go. Pivot's in the center. Okay. And we're going to mirror this now. So shift right click, mirror, please. Why didn't that work? There we go. I don't know why that didn't work. I must not have clicked on it. Sometimes it'll look like this. So that means your direction on the axis is wrong. It needs to be positive. Sometimes it'll look like this. That's because you're on the wrong axis. So I'm mirroring on this axis instead of this axis. Like I'm mirroring it currently on this axis. X, and now I just have the thin line because it's like mirroring in the nothing modeled side to the nothing modeled side. So there. Got the whole thing. Cool. And then I always like to soften all of it. Holy Trinity. Delete by type history. Let's unhide the high and make sure that they're all nice and in the same spot. And they totally are. It looks great. So we're going to call this shell top. And this is actually deceptively important. It seems like naming conventions are just naming conventions, but when you're doing the low to high bake, you have to have the proper names. So the shell top has to be identical in both pieces. This one has to say low. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it. Nope. Copy, paste. There we go. And I'm gonna change low to high. And that's the only change. So shell and top are identical. It could be something ridiculous. Like that. That wouldn't work because the capitals are different. But if I were to change the bottom one to match the same with the ridiculous caps, it would totally work. Let's just do that. Okay. They just have to be identical, but the caps and everything. So let's just go ahead and make sure that that's all done on both. Let's make sure that our pivot is in the center in both. Okay, and now we're going to export. Selection. And I want another folder in here that's low and high. So I've got incremental resolution, which is all of my different resolutions, and I've got low and high. Actually, well, okay, we've got low. So let's go ahead and put this in. So again, I'm going to make this exactly the same. Shell, top, low, export selected. Let's hide it. This does look good, but let's say it didn't. Let's just pretend like that's not enough resolution. What we would do is come into the incremental resolution and let's pull in the 5%. And of course, it's not in the right spot, right? But it should, hopefully, yeah. It should be close enough. Because it's all basically in the same space. Unless it's backwards. It might be backwards, actually. Yeah, see, that's better. No, it's not. Uh, no. Let's just do this back and forth a little bit so that it fits. You really want it to be as close to the same exact place as it can be. Maybe it's a little bit too big. Strange. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Anyway, let's go back a bunch. No more further to go back. Crap. Um, oh, you know what I did, actually? I put this in a group. It's weird that it's just a little bit off. It really shouldn't be just a little bit off. There we go. Okay. Oh, shoot. I moved the wrong one. I'm sure you caught that. Let's hide that. Actually, we're going to call this one old. And I'm going to grab this. So this one is just at 5% resolution. Yeah, and see it's got a whole lot more of the stuff preserved. Um, so really it's just the higher resolution for your high poly, the longer the bake is going to take in Substance Painter, which is where we're going to get to next. So we got the low already exported, the high. Let's go ahead and do all of this. Let's go ahead and do delete by type history, and let's go ahead and export it. Shell top high. Export. Gonna save, and on to the next.